Rockeyez would like to welcome Julie Westlake, Hydrogyn. Oh, by the way, happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm technically not a day older yet until tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
So.
But I didn't think I would talk to you tomorrow, so I might as well get it in now.
Yes, thank you very much.
No problem, no problem. Let's start off with the Paris DVD. Tell me a little bit about this new DVD.
Well, this is actually, it's a DVD that actually Jeff is putting together. It was recorded at our last show that we did on tour in France, and it's a single camera shot of our last show. And honestly, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, where was that last show at? Where were we? And I can't even remember what venue we were even at. But that's pretty much. I mean, he's putting together some stuff. There's an interview that's on there as well.
Right.
That we did in France. It'll be just some really cool stuff of our tour that we did, and it was a really awesome time. So we're excited to get that out there and let the folks that didn't have the opportunity to see us live actually see a little bit of Hydrogyn in France.
Cool. That sounds really really cool. I'm sure people who didn't go to that show, which Americans, I'm sure, is not flying over there. But I mean,
right.
At least we get to see what it's all about,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I heard you're working on a new Hydrogyn CD?
We are. It's kind of a process. I mean, we've released several albums, and of course, with each recording, you want it to just be better and better, and so then you kind of nitpick it to death.
Right.
And so it's like, we'll get something, laid down, and then I'll go back and I'm like, God, that sucks. It's like, your initial reaction at first is like, wow, that's really cool, and then you listen to it a couple times and you're like, wow, that's not so cool anymore. And so then, so we've had some things that we've recorded, and we're just kind of going back and just listening to them again and just kind of reworking some things. So we're probably looking, at doing a 2015 release.
Right. The latest one is Break the Chains, an EP. I listened to some of the tracks this morning. It's really a good mix of some heavy stuff, some light stuff. Can you tell me anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, this was something, we did this one kind of quick, and there is a variety of things, and we did some stuff that I think that has really kind of, I think, the way it was mixed was very kind of poppy,
right?
But yet heavy at the same time. So I think it's a little different sound than some of the other Hydrogyn stuff that we've done. Then you have songs like, You Are the One, which is, one of my favorites on the album. And actually, that was co-written with myself, Jeff Boggs, and Deb Cowan Franklin, who's a friend of ours, and she was actually getting married and wanted to write a song. She'd never written a song before, so she actually wrote most of the lyrics for that song, and then Jeff and I got together and came up with the melody and music and stuff for it, and so that's still one of my favorites on the album.
Cool. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Hotter Than Hell tribute CD that Jeff, your husband, put out recently. Can you tell me anything about that? How did you pick the songs? I know it's the Hotter Than Hell, album and stuff like that. But,
right.
Was there really anything changed from the original?
I have to say, other than having my mug plastered as Paul Stanley on the front of that thing, I honestly had not a darn thing to do with it. I think I did a couple of backing tracks on the album, but honestly, I mean, as far as that project, that was kind of Jeff's baby. He always loved that album, but was never fond of the production.
Right.
And so that was just kind of one of his, hey, let's have some fun, let's do this. And then it's funny because a friend of mine, we were at dinner one day, and she did something, and like, she stuck her tongue out, and she, like, totally has the Gene Simmons tongue.
Right.
And so that's what gave Jeff, like, this light bulb, ding, goes off, and he was like, I know what I'm going to do. And he has chicks, and post boobs on the front of this album cover. So we had the tongue and the boobs, and just decided to just do something, you know, a little different, just to kind of grab some attention.
Right.
But as far as the rest of it and like song choices and that kind of stuff, that would be something you'd have to ask him.
Right, right. But I mean, it is getting really good reviews so far. I saw the last one that was on melodicrock.com, and you know, Andrew gave it a good review and talked well about it. So you know, it's not like a you know, just a pastime type thing. It is getting good reviews. You know? Yeah,
it really is. I mean, and he did a great job on it, which, I mean, honestly, I mean, anything that Jeff has his hand in, I mean, you can always expect a really good product. And so, you know, and he sang on the album, which is funny in itself to me, and it still cracks me up at times because, you know, we've been together for a long time, and, like, Jeff Westlake does not sing. And, like, we'll do, like, acoustic shows. And I'm like, well, can't you just, like, harmonize with me on this? And he's like, nope, not doing it. You know, so whenever, like, one day I came home, and he was like, I need for you to listen to something. And I was like, okay, what am I listening to? And he was like, well, I sang this song. And actually, the first experience of him singing was on the Gods album. They done a tribute, and so he sang like one of the songs on there. So that was my first glimpse of like hearing like Jeff sing. And so when he did it, I literally turned my back because I thought, you know, I do not want to hurt his feelings, but this is going to be terrible. So I couldn't even look at him in the face while I'm listening to this. And then it was over, and like, I don't even know how long it took to pick my jaw up off the ground because I was like, holy crap. I'm like, that was really good. So I think that kind of built his confidence up some. So then he decided that he was going to, you know, he does quite a few of the tracks vocally on the Kiss stuff, and he did good. So it was funny. But yeah, I'm proud of him for growing a pair and actually like trying to sing. So
cool. What do you think about comments now that Gene Simmons is coming out with Rockeyez dead, and you know there's no future in music no more?
You know, they've had a good run at it. You know, I mean, those guys have been around for a long time, and they've surely seen the best days of rock. And you know, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to listen to someone, you know, say something like that that's been in the business and been so successful. You know, I think if it came from anybody else, you know, maybe you could understand. Just because the music business, it is a hard business.
Right.
You know, and people, and it's happened to us, you know, you get very discouraged. And so, I don't know, maybe he's just going through a phase where he's discouraged. You know, I don't tend to follow. I mean, I like the band and everything, but I don't tend to really follow or care what they say, to be quite honest. But, you know, it's just one of those things. He's very fortunate, and he's been lucky, so I don't think I would do any trash talking at this point.
Right. Well, what do you and Jeff do, like, you know, on your spare time or to relax, or what do you guys do?
We like to travel. We're actually going this weekend. You know, we're involved with a lot of other bands because, of course, Jeff has Ridgeline Production Studio. So he's really, you know, Hydrogyn hasn't really done a lot as far as touring or playing out live for a couple of years now. I think the last show we did as a full band was November of 2012, and other than that, Jeff and I have just done some things, you know, acoustically on our own. But we're involved with a lot of, you know, other bands, and even though it's technically work, you know, it's something that we enjoy. So, like, going out of town for the weekend to do pre-production with a band, or, you know, going out of town to go listen to a band to see if, you know, if there's someone that we would want, you know, to work with in the studio. You know, those are things that we enjoy. And, like, this weekend we'll be heading out to Alabama. We recorded Angel's Revenge, a really good friend of ours, Holly Hines. They're an awesome metal band. She has an amazing voice, and so they recorded with Jeff and in the studio, and so they're doing their CD release party this weekend. So we're going to Alabama this weekend to be a part of their CD release. So those are, you know, some of the things that we do. It kind of seems like, you know, even if we're not playing, we're still in our spare time, you know, doing something, you know, music related.
Right. Do you feel Hydrogyn will tour next year?
You know what? We would love to. It's one of those things. I mean, like, we're really, like, we would love to go back to Europe. You know, that was just it was a cool experience. We have, you know, our fan base there is much larger than it is here in the States. And so that's something that we're looking into. I think it's just, you know, it's one of those things, you know, as you get older, you know, like I will be tomorrow, you know, you look at things a little differently, you know, and we have family and things like that. And so, you know, when you get, not that I'm that old, but when you get, you know, to get up there in age, you start thinking about things a little differently. And, you know, we have lives and we have homes and cars and bills and that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, you know, you know, you see bands out there all the time that's touring, and, you know, it's like that they're the big rock stars, but it takes a really long time to get to where you can support yourself 100% by music alone. And so it just kind of got to one of those things to where it's like we would love to tour if the financial situation was right and the pay is right, then, you know, yeah, we'll do it. We're just not looking, you know, to get, unfortunately, as much as we love music, to go out on the road and come back and, you know, be living in a van down by the river. So.
Right. Definitely.
It's just got to be profitable, you know, to get us to be able to just drop what we're doing and leave out for a few weeks.
Right. You just mentioned going to Europe. There's so many U.S. artists that want to play Europe because they say the support's better there. Yet all the people from Europe want to come to the States.
Right.
What's you know, so special about Europe that, you know, most American bands want to go because, like, the fans show up, you know?
They do show up. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, when we went over the first time in 2007, and, you know, we wasn't expecting, you know, when we came out of the studio with Michael Wagner, you know, that got us a lot of attention, and so I was on covers of magazines in Italy and in France, and we had immediate, you know, started getting some publicity, and interest there. But, you know, when we showed up, I mean, I thought, okay, you know, my first tour in Europe, this is going to be interesting. Nobody's going to know who we are, this, you know. So then you get over there, and people show up, and people sing along. They know the words to your music, you know. And it was a cool experience, and just the respect level. I feel like that in the States, people go to a venue to drink and get trashed, you know, and they got a band so they can dance or do whatever they want to do. But, like, when you're over there, these people come to the venue for the music. They come for the band. You know, that is the reason that they are, you know, that they're coming. It's not to drink and have a, I mean, of course, you know, that's all there, and that's fine and all, but it's like they're just really about the music, and they're really diehard fans, and just the respect level, you know, and especially I think as a female, you go into a club in the States, and I'm not saying every place is like this, but, you know, you got guys that are drinking, and they want to come up, and they want to have a picture, and that's perfectly fine.
Right.
But, you know, it's just the other, you know, just, I don't know, like you get the pervs that come out and then I hang all over you, you know, and it's like literally over there they would like be like, can I have your picture? And they're like 2 feet away from me, and it's like me grabbing them. I'm like, okay, you can come a little closer. Right. I'm not going to bite you. But it's just like it's a whole respect thing over there too that, you know, just I think makes it more enjoyable. And as far as why they would want, you know, Europeans would want to come to America to tour, you know, I think it's just for each country, it's just the experience of being able to say, yeah, I went to Europe and was on tour in Europe, or for them, I went to America. You know, I mean, it's just, I think, just be able to have the experience.
Cool. Well, Julie, it was really good talking to you again, and happy birthday tomorrow. And
thank you so much.
Hopefully I get to see you live next year, and, you know, keep on doing what you're doing, and, you're doing a great job. So is Jeff.
Well,
You know.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
No problem. Would you just like to say anything to the fans out there?
I just always like to say thank you. We appreciate those of you that listen and keep a watch on what Hydrogyn's doing, and we hope to be able to get this music and this new release and the DVD, and hope everybody likes it. And it would be our goal to be able to see everyone out at a live show hopefully soon.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Julie.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.